guys, it's Joanne from 15 Spatulas, and today we're going to make lasagna soup. I have talked many times before about my love for soup, but I just think during the winter time there is nothing better than a warm and comforting soup, and this is basically a soup version of a classic lasagna. It's so good. For my lasagna soup, I'm using Swanson unsalted chicken broth, which is the broth I now keep in my pantry all the time to use in my recipes. I'm a big fan of seasoning things to your taste, and since this broth has no salt added to it, it allows you to create dishes that taste best to you in the way that you like it. Because you know, sometimes soups can get a little bit too salty, and this allows you to control the salt content of your soup. This broth adds a richness of flavor and really allows the natural taste of the soup ingredients to come through. All right, let me show you how to make it. In a large pot set over medium-high heat, add 1 tablespoon of olive oil and 1 pound of sweet Italian pork sausage with the casing removed. You're gonna let that brown and fully cook for about 5 minutes and use a spatula or a turner to break up the meat as it cooks. While the sausage is browning, chop up 1½ cups of yellow onion, which is about half of a large onion. Just slice toward the center like this, then turn the onion and chop it into small pieces. When the sausage is fully cooked, turn the heat down to medium and add the yellow onion, then season it with a ½ teaspoon of salt, a ¼ teaspoon of black pepper, ½ teaspoon of dried oregano, ½ teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes, and cook that for about 10 minutes until the onion is soft and translucent. Mince 3 cloves of fresh garlic, then add that to the pot and stir that around for about 1 minute. Then add a 25-ounce jar of marinara sauce, 3 tablespoons of tomato paste, 1 bay leaf, and 6 cups of Swanson unsalted chicken broth, which is about 1½ of these cartons here, so you'll have a ½ carton left over, but it has a twisting cap on top so you can store the leftover in the fridge with a tight seal. And by the way, when you open the broth, it automatically breaks the foil underneath. I also tried this recipe with beef broth, and that was good too, but I found that the flavors of the chicken broth and the pork sausage had a better match. The unsalted chicken broth really complements the pork sausage profile in this recipe. Bring the soup to a boil and then reduce it back down to a simmer and put the lid on. You're gonna simmer the soup for 20 minutes. In the meantime, bring a separate pot of water to a boil to cook the lasagna noodles. Take 8 ounces of lasagna noodles and break them up with your fingers into bite-sized pieces, and then when the water is boiling, season the water generously with several large pinches of salt, and cook the lasagna noodles according to package directions, which would be about 10 minutes, and then drain and rinse the lasagna noodles. When the lasagna soup has finished simmering, you can check for seasoning by tasting the soup. You can add more salt or more pepper if you think it needs it. I actually didn't add any extra salt to the soup at this point. I thought the unsalted broth was perfect here, and the soup had enough seasoning from when we seasoned the sausage and the onions earlier on. Definitely check the seasoning and make it to your taste. When you're ready to assemble the lasagna soup, place a few lasagna noodles into the bottom of a bowl, ladle the hot lasagna soup on top, then top with a sprinkle of mozzarella cheese, a big spoonful of fresh ricotta, garnish it with some fresh basil, and then it's ready to serve and enjoy. All right, it's time to taste my lasagna soup. I cannot wait to dive in and just look at how gooey and cheesy and melty this is. I can't wait to dive in. Let's give it a taste. Oh wow. Oh my gosh, that's so good. This is like the most comforting soup in the world, if you ask me. It's got a really deep, rich flavor from the tomatoes and the pork sausage and that chicken broth. It's got a little bit of freshness from the basil and a little bit of heat from those crushed red pepper flakes. And with the fresh mozzarella and the ricotta cheese, it really does taste so much like lasagna, but the soup version of lasagna. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to make this soup, and I do hope you give it a try. Thanks so much for watching and for cooking with me, and I'll see you guys next time.